we have here, and then we'll go over here. Okay.
Hi, my name is Brooks Gerhardt, and I kind of have a question for all of you, and anyone, please feel free to answer. But I, like Mr. Reid, still do have a yard service from Baltimore, and but one of the most valuable things I've taken out of it, and that I still do appreciate, is the amount of clients that I've had over the years, and some I've had for 6 years or 7 years, however long I've been doing it, and some I had for 2 to 3 years. But with each relationship that I made with these people, I learned about their lives. I know their kids, and so it becomes more of a friendship than I'm still working for them. So that's become very important to me. And then being from Baltimore, I've seen how I really love Baltimore personally, and Maryland. And then coming to Maryland, I hear a lot of people that are from out of state that view Baltimore as a dangerous city and has all these problems. And being from Baltimore, I immediately disagree. So one of my most a key moral or value to me has been, how am I, in whatever profession I'm going to do, how am I going to make sure that I give back to whatever community I end up in? And so that's going to be one of my most important things, is how am I going to affect my community in a positive way? So whether it be nonprofit or for-profit, is there any advice you could give to make sure that you're still connected to the community that you're in, and to make sure that you're still supporting your community?
Ted, maybe.
Shortest answer I can give: you're on track.
Yeah.
You're on track. Exactly the behavior that you have, you're on track. Sorry.
No, I can give you a whole lot of examples, but I have a philosophy that I live by, which is the easiest way to help yourself is to help other people. And so I've always had it as a practice to give back. Going back to the relationships thing, when I meet people, the first thing I'm thinking is, okay, what do you do and how can I help you in any way? And it doesn't matter what level you're at. It doesn't matter whether you're the CEO of a company or whether you're the guy on the street. It's, I've always had a practice of giving something back to folks. I'll go to sort of an example of how things come full circle. Q and I met at a conference years ago, the Black Entertainment and Sports Lawyers Association. And when I first went to that conference back in 92, I literally got stuck in Jamaica with $10. Literally, for 5 days with $10 in my pocket. You want to talk about having to hustle. Believe me, it was like, you gonna eat those fries? But I built a lot of relationships from people there, met a lot of people. I got to know folks on the board. I stayed in touch with them. I'm not a guy that you give me your business card, it's just gonna sit there in a pile. I would immediately follow up and talk to them and get to know them. And so ultimately what ended up happening was, a year later, they invited me in to come speak. Now I went from being this broke guy to sitting on a panel. And I put together a whole panel of some of the top financial executives in the country that came out for that. Over the years, I started doing panels for them every year. But then when my business turned around, I decided that I would look around and I would see law students who looked like they were in the same position I was when I first came in. And so I started, without telling people, now everybody knows in that organization, but back then, without telling people, I would go up to all the student volunteers, the ones that couldn't afford to come down, and the scholarship recipients, and say, I want to take you out to dinner. And I would take them out, we would have a nice dinner, and I would tell them the story about how when I first got here and I had $10 and I didn't have anything. Take that story full circle. I got a phone call about 2 years ago. And it was a woman who I kept in touch with for years. She's a sports entertainment lawyer who calls me up and says, when I was in law school, you had mentioned to me that you always wanted to go to the ESPYs. And I said, yeah. She goes, well, have you gone yet? I said, no. She says, well, you were one of the people that looked out for me, that took me to dinner and introduced me to a whole bunch of folks. And I happen to be the lawyer for ESPN. And I'm handling the contract. So, so you never know how things can come full circle. And you never know when you're helping somebody out. I think that is very important what you're doing.
Excellent.